When I first heard and saw Joy Eggerichs on television, I was so encouraged by not only her content, but what seemed to be the intent of her heart and her passion for people and ministry and to help people. And we are so glad you received our invitation, accepted our invitation to come and spend a week with us.
Yeah, we're having a blast.
So you've been on a little bit of a sabbatical because you've been really burning the candle at both ends. You're single. And so there's extra time in your life that maybe family might take up for others.
Yes.
Where you were just kind of killing it.
Yeah.
So tell everyone what you've been doing and then walk us through the sabbatical and then maybe tell us what you're having for lunch later today.
Okay, well, I went to Tim Hortons for breakfast.
You have won your hearts, folks. Did you do a Tim Bits?
No, I had those yesterday.
Okay.
Today I did the breakfast sandwich.
Okay, that's very, very good. Oh,
cheese
very good. Yeah, that's
good.
excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So she's getting orientated very, very much so. So for years you have been in partnership with your dad.
Yeah.
With the Love and Respect series that did your family have any idea how this would blow up and people excited? It's been phenomenal.
Yeah, I was in college when my father was writing the book, and I was across the country from them, so I had no clue what my parents were up to. When you're in college, you don't care. So then a year out of college, I started directing their speaking engagements because that's when the book came out and everything like that. And then a couple years in, I realized that people kept saying, I wish I would have known this 20 years ago.
Right.
And so I was like, well, maybe my generation, they don't know they're going to say that in 20 years, but maybe I need to help them. So for the past 7-ish years, I've been doing that, where I have a website, people write in and ask me relationship questions. And then I developed the Illumination Project, which is a small group study.
Yeah.
And now recently I've started releasing these things called bundles of joy. You like that?
That's good. That's good. Bundles of joy.
Yeah.
Which is your name. I'm very fast.
Yeah,
yes,
there you go.
Right. Yeah. Joy is a bundle of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
That's right. Yeah.
I wish we almost put me as my adult face,
probably
and baby swallowing.
Probably glad you didn't do that. Yeah. Good decision.
So it's just like 4 videos at a time with discussion questions and things like that. Yeah. But yeah, so last summer it was, I kept getting the same type questions, and I started talking with my parents. I was like, I think after the past 7-8 years, I think I've answered all that I can answer. Yeah. We've got all the content. Maybe it's time for me to move on and do something else. And so my parents had me take this time of sabbatical the last few months and just take time to think and pray and figure out what I'm doing with my life.
Did you, I have friends who've taken sabbaticals, and sometimes they're work and travel sabbaticals where there's structure in school and then, mentoring that takes place. Then there are other sabbaticals. I've had friends that just kind of shut down. What was this for you? Was it both or in between?
I wrote 4 books, and no. No, I did. Yeah, it was a lot of resting. I did start dating someone.
Did you?
Yeah, so that took up some time.
Social media now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about that at all?
No, but you said I was single, and I'm like, well, I'm not married, but yeah, I do have boyfriend.
All right.
So that was exciting, and just, being in my city of Portland and just kind of being a part of my community and getting to just unplug a bit.
What are your, Illumination Project, I think, reflected some of your passions. What are your passions? What motivates you as a Christ follower?
I really do love people. I love drawing things out of people. I love getting to know people, making them comfortable. So I love interviewing.
Yeah. You want to switch?
Yeah. So if we could, that's your cue.
Yeah.
I get really excited about. I'm still passionate about relationships. I think that's something that's always going to be in my blood because of my family, and I care about what my parents are doing, and I'll always be doing some work with them to some degree. But I love comedy.
Yeah.
And
I can tell. Yeah.
Because of my face?
No. Yeah. Just people that love comedy can tell other people who love comedy.
I think it's needed in the church. I think sometimes we're a little too serious.
A bit.
And I think sometimes we have heavy things that we have to discuss, and we take ourselves far too seriously, and we function out of fear instead of freedom. And I think when you're functioning in freedom, you laugh a little bit more.
That's true. So your passions are about people and relationships and trying to add value to people, make their lives better. What would be some of the driving principles of your life? What motivates you at the core?
Well, I would say back kind of in between the time of directing my parents' conferences and I went through a broken engagement. I talked about that with Moira. and struggling deeply with that, and then starting my work,
Right.
I found the passage in James that says, if you pray for wisdom and believe that God will give it to you, He will.
Yeah.
And I've always struggled academically, and so when I read that verse, I was like, "What? we can just get this for asking."
Be encouraged. Most of us in television do. You know, my philosophy of math is that if you're right 90% of the time, who cares about the other 5%?
When I was in
Right?
high school and
Yeah.
I saw there was letters involved in math, I was like, "What is this?"
This is crazy. It's just
Yeah.
nuts. I know. I had a pastor who was actually a math major. Go figure.
What?
Go figure.
Were his
Yeah,
sermons
that's right.
just
Yeah, he was at a place I'll never be.
Yeah.
So your motivations, again, getting back to you. and
Yeah,
not
well,
me, sorry.
no. I
Yeah.
just think I feel like I have a heart to know wisdom and to be wise and to seek wisdom and encourage people.
So
to,
do you have multiple mentors in your life? I'm of the opinion that you need more than just a mentor. I
Yeah.
think you need many mentors because no one person except our Lord has expertise in every area.
Yeah.
Or wisdom in every area.
Totally.
So how do you do that in your life?
Yeah, I haven't necessarily. I mean, I know a lot of people will like go to someone specifically and be like, "Will you mentor me?"
Yeah.
I've had people that I've worked for that I've said, "Can I, meet with you in that regard?" But in terms of just my life, I just ask people questions when I'm with them. So I think sometimes when people are like, "I want a mentor," it's like just use the opportunity you have. Like if you meet a stranger in the airport, and
Right.
everyone is passionate about something,
Right.
and that's where I think just asking questions and drawing things out of people, I feel like I've learned more than I ever learned in school. Sorry to my college. I had a great experience in college. But, just from people, because everyone's passionate.
Right.
Everyone has some area that they've read a million books on or, are just gifted.
So you're
in.
motivated to pull that out of people yourself,
Yes.
right?
So for my own advantage.
And maybe yes, right. Enough about me, what about
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
So you want to pull that out of people, and so maybe the more introverted or quiet the person, you see that the greater the challenge, because at their core they still have the need to be
Something they're
loved,
passionate
accepted, to be honored, to be
Yeah.
affirmed.
Well, and as we were joking, I mean, it's for my own benefit. I love learning through people, but at the same time, I have seen a hunger that people have. We live in this day and age where people can tell everyone what they're doing on social media. But what's happened with that, I go to parties and I talk to people and I realize people don't know how to ask each other questions.
Yeah.
We're so used to now just telling each other things. And so I think the art of asking questions, if we learn how to do that, that actually builds relationships.
All right, so the next time we're together, I want to find out from you how to get invited to parties.
Yeah.
That's my goal. That would be my,
We'll
that would be
talk
my
off
goal.
camera about
I'm
that.
so glad you're here. Hope you are having fun.
I am having fun.
And there are people around here who are loving having you here too. And
Thank you.
this is an atmosphere of a lot of fun here. What we do, we take seriously, but we're trying not to take ourselves too seriously. Sometimes we get that right, sometimes we don't. Joy Eggerichs, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to see more of you the rest of this week.